get some results for your individual fitness today for you.
Is this where at the end you tell me how, for my age, unfit that I am?
Well, hopefully we'll give you an idea of where you have some risk factors if you do, so that you can work specifically on those factors. So say, for example, we find that you have some decreased shoulder mobility or ankle mobility. Then with an individual, we would help them to focus on what exercises they should do to help that mobility out, and which exercises they shouldn't be doing because they could increase the risk of injury if they do those specific exercises.
All right, we're going to do the testing. You're starting me easy, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get right into it here.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna step.
The first thing that I did when Dale came in, I showed Dale my shoes. Dale, are these shoes okay? They got the seal of approval, so I feel good about today's programming to start with.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna step over.
Pull this up and yell so people can
Yeah,
hear.
see us and hear us here.
All right.
So you're gonna stand right where I am here first. This first one's called the deep squat. So your toes are gonna be behind the
Behind the board.
Yep.
All right, you can get, I hope the cameras get my feet. Spent a lot of money on these
You're gonna
shoes.
grab this post with your hands
Does it
and
matter?
just rest it on your head for a second.
Okay.
That gives us an idea. We're gonna bring your elbows to 90 degrees from there.
All right.
Okay. And then you're gonna lift the bar straight towards the ceiling.
Look, I'm a T. All right, straight towards the ceiling.
Yeah, push the bar straight towards the ceiling. And then while you have it up there, you're gonna do a deep squat, as deep as you can
Oh,
go.
God, I'm flashing back. You should be screaming at me about how gutless I am. I feel like I'm in the weight room. All right, straight up.
And then you're gonna do a full squat.
Does it matter how wide the feet are, or am I okay?
Shoulder width apart, yep.
All right, shoulder width apart. Let's start this again.
Yep, straight up, and
Push
then you do a
up.
deep squat. Okay. And what I'm looking at is how low you can come back up again.
Thank you.
How low you can go, as well as how well you keep yourself in a vertical upright position by that bar. So keep yourself as upright as you can with the bar.
I was leaning forward a
Try
little
not,
bit.
yeah, that's right, try not to lean forward as you come down, for this part of the functional movement screen.
All right.
Okay, back up. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna score him on a 0 to 3 scale. Do you have any pain with that?
Oh, no, did you not hear the ankle and the knee snapping?
Now you're gonna step forward, so just your heels are on this board, and you're
Okay.
gonna lean forward. Okay, and then we're gonna repeat that deep squat again. So keep yourself upright, come down into a deep squat.
This has got a torn Achilles written all over
This should actually
it.
take the stress off your Achilles. Go ahead and try that.
All right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Yep, straight up,
T,
yep, and then do deep squat.
press.
Good, back up. Any pain with that?
No.
Okay, so as we're going through this test with Eddie today, I'm going to score him. And then at the end of the show, we're going to give the results of the
0
test today.
through 3, right?
Okay, so you can step back off the board there.
Okay.
And we're going to go to the next test here.
I'm flashing to another thing, Dale. My hands have stayed up. I'm waiting for you to say, put your hands down.
Put your hands down.
Thank you.
Simon says.
Thank you. Last time that happened, I wanted to be real sure.
So what we did is earlier we measured the length from his ankle to his knee.
Right.
To see what his tibia length was for this next test, because this is a test of stepping over, and I matched it up to what that height was. So everyone's a little different depending on if you're a shorter person or you're a taller person for this test. And then you're gonna stay on the same side. of the
looks
board.
like a steeplechase situation.
So toes up against the board, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna step your left foot up over that band, tuck your heel down, then come back, okay?
Anything with the stick?
Yes, you're gonna put the stick back up in the air again,
Just with the stick.
and now back behind your head. Yeah, right there. So that's where the stick stays. And then you're gonna bring your left foot up over the band, try not to touch the band, bring your heel down, and back up and over. Yep, and then back.
Do I step just?
Yep, just step down and back.
Now, did I cheat by doing
Yes,
it?
I was just gonna say to the viewers, what I'm looking for as a tester is as you come over, I wanna see your leg come over as straight as possible
Okay.
and back, without having to rotate your hip or your knee get there. So that's better, yep.
I'm
And slow your balance a little bit, okay, and then come back. Any pain with that?
No,
And then try the other side.
just a motion. Up,
Yep. And that was a little better. Okay, try that again. Good. And you can relax there. I'm just going to put your test score into the iPad here.
Remedial hokey pokey.
Okay, so now we take these pieces off. This test is, it seems like a complicated test, and I guess it is somewhat complex. It's complex in the way that we're measuring a lot of different things, but it doesn't take a long time to do. Again, this is just one of the tests we do with our clients. Again, these could be athletes that want to see what their level of fitness is, to make sure we're mitigating any risk they have with whatever sport they're doing. This is a basic test that we do for every sport and every athlete. It could be an adult that just wants to do a level of fitness testing. It could be someone returning from an injury or returning from a surgical procedure. And then if you've done this test with us before, this enables us to retest you to see if you're ready to return to that sport or not. So this next test is a lunge test. So you're going to put your right foot, your toes behind that 0. And your left foot is going to be up here, so your heel's on that 43, because that was the length of your tibia. Again, for a shorter, taller person, we can adjust, make these best.
I'm not supposed to be leaning on that. am I?
If you need to hold on to that to get your step set, but then we're going to put the bar behind you. Go ahead and take your step.
Just a regular step.
So your heel is, you're going to hold your heel, so it's, yep, a little bit farther forward. That's perfect right there, okay? So that is 43 centimeters, which is your leg length, okay? So this bar, you're going to put your right hand up behind your neck, and you're going to hold it up here. Yep, and the left hand comes behind your back. Left hand comes behind your back, not your head. Yep, there you go. And you hold that bar.
My other back.
You're going to hold that bar flat against your head and flat against your back.
Okay.
In this position, you're going to go down and do a full lunge. So your right knee touches the board and comes back up again.
What, on bed? Help me, Dale.
All right. I won't let you get hurt on live radio here.
Down.
Yep, and then back up.
Behind.
All right, keep your feet where they are.
Oh, sorry.
Dale. We're going to give you a repeat try on that.
10th anniversary show, bringing out all the stuff. We're gonna cripple this guy.
This is our 10 years, 10 years.
Same thing?
Yep, same thing. Yeah, that was better. I'm not gonna help you at all this time, so let's go ahead and try that on your own.
This is where the kid drowned. Down.
Good, anything with that?
No, I mean the balance on the board.
Balance is tough, so
That's
switch feet.
bad.
So your left foot's behind the mark there, and your right foot is now.
I need to be there.
Yep, a little bit more.
And switch hands too.
Yep, switch hands as well.
All right.
And keep that bar behind your head, behind your back,
Yeah.
nice and flat, and go ahead and do your lunge there.
I did it all by myself, you guys.
Around the radio up.
No doubt.
Okay.
One more.
Okay.
I shortened up on that
Good, good.
one.
Okay, I'm just gonna write down your score here.
Dale, you made a mistake.
Anything for this?
Gave me a stick too.
Anything with this?
No, not at all.
So now we're gonna turn this board to the side, so that, those watching on Facebook Live, remember, if you're listening, watch this on the Facebook Live feed as well, and you get a lot more information if you're watching on Facebook Live. So for this one, you're gonna put your left foot here, and your right foot's gonna be right in front of it, and you're gonna try to go down like this, try to get this knee as far as you can forward.
Doesn't matter what side.
No.
Okay.
Good. I just want those watching Facebook Live to be able to see what we're doing here. Okay. And go ahead, and I'm gonna use my post here as a measuring stick here to see where you're going here. So go ahead and bend those knees, both feet stay flat, and go down as far as you can.
Heel came up.
Yep, keep the heel flat.
That's about as
Okay.
far.
So what I'm looking for is that back knee crossing in front of that forward ankle. Then do the same thing, but switch, put the other foot in front.
Dale, I've noticed I always get sweaty when we're together. What do you think that means?
All right, do that again.
Ow.
And so when you're watching this, we're looking for that knee to come forward in front of that ankle. Do that one more time for me. Good, and back up. Okay. And I'm just gonna put your score down here. Any pain with that?
No.
Okay. All right, now we're going to measure your shoulder mobility next. So before we started the show, we did two things. We measured his leg length, and we also measured the length from his wrist to his fingertip. And that helps us out with our shoulder mobility test.
All right.
Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to turn your back to the audience. Those watching. watching.
They
And
appreciate it.
put your thumbs inside your hands and make a fist, and then you're gonna just bring them with one move back behind you like this, getting them as close as you can to each other.
Okay.
And so your,
Here.
let me see what your measurement was. Hand length was 19. So what we're doing now is we're measuring how close he gets between the two hands. And if he gets within one hand length, then that's within our limits. And switch to the other side. And that is close. I'm going to give you it right there. Good.
Oh, sorry.
You can relax there again. So that was your best one so far.
Yay!
And now we're going to do what's called a shoulder clearing test. So you're going to put your right hand on your left shoulder, just like this. And then lift just one side, and then lift that elbow straight up. Okay, any pain with that?
Yeah.
And then switch to the other side. And up. Any pain with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's our shoulder clearing test. It shows that on the left side, you probably have some impingement going on there. So because of that, I would recommend, we'll talk about recommendations towards the end of the show, but that would lead us to a recommendation for doing some therapy for that.
Okay.
Next, we're going to have you lie down on the floor.
It always comes to this, man. On the floor.
And what we'll do is we'll put your head up this way,
Yeah.
and your knees will cross over the board here,
Okay.
on your back.
What'd you do at work today? Laid on the floor.
It's just a normal day in the office.
It's a
at the
normal
radio
day.
station. Okay, put your knees down straight.
Okay.
Okay, and move it forward a little bit. And what I'm doing now is we're measuring your straight leg raise, your hamstring flexibility.
Okay.
So lift your right foot straight up with your knee straight as high as you can.
Toe pointed.
Toes doesn't matter, just lift it straight up as far as you can. That's perfect, okay? And come down and do the other side. All right, so you passed that flexibility test for your hamstrings. And I'm just going to record that data here there. That was another good one. All right, now we're going to get into a push-up position.
I knew it.
Okay, you're going to head towards the counter there.
All right.
So what you're going to do is you're going to get flat on your belly first, flat on your stomach, and
Hello, everybody.
turn to the right a little bit so your head, just rotate a little bit. There you go, so you have a little more room there. Good.
Okay.
And raise your arms straight up over your head, so lie down flat. Okay, and
I'm
bring
not
your hands
moving.
position. Now bring your hands down to your forehead. Just straight down like this, like you're getting ready for doing a push-up.
Oh, okay.
Not to your forehead. So the first level for men is to get to your forehead. Bring it up and put your toes down, and so you lift your knees up off the ground, and you're trying to do a push-up from that position. Okay, this is the first test.
Okay.
In order to get the best score, you have to do a push-up from this position. So go ahead and try it. Oh, nice job. All right, you only have to do one. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to score you on that there. Okay, next what you're going to do is you're going to do what's called a press up. So your belly stays flat and you just put your hands down and press yourself up off the ground. Yep.
Head high again.
Just press straight up. Keep
Oh, I'm sorry.
flat. Okay, this clears low back. Any low back pain?
No.
Okay, so that's a good score. You can relax down there. Okay, save the best for last here. This is the hardest one.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to get into a hands and knees position, straddling this board. So let's get this board right in the middle of you. Let's move it over a little bit so we have a little more room for the camera. Okay, now you're going to get straddle the board with a knee on either side and a hand on either side.
All right.
Yep.
We've known each other a long time. I wouldn't do this for some people. All right, like that?
Okay, this is a rotor stability test, but you want your knees to touch the board and your hands to be touching the board. So, yeah, narrow your base. So right now, if you're just listening, Eddie's in a quadruped position on his hands and knees. The board's about 6 inches wide, so he has a pretty narrow base. And what he's going to do, let's start with your right side first. Your right hand is going to come back to touch your right heel. So you can pull your right heel forward to touch it.
Can I lean or
No,
should I not?
you can't
Okay.
lean, but you can bring your leg forward to touch it.
Oh,
So
okay.
pull your right leg forward so you can touch your right heel. No, get your right leg off the ground. Everything, all the right sides off the ground.
What is-
So you're pulling this leg forward?
I'm pulling this leg
Yeah, off the
forward.
ground, off the ground.
Oh,
And
okay.
to reach your heel. There you go, okay?
All right.
Let me say your ankle, not your heel. So
Okay.
reach your ankle,
I can pull it forward off the ground,
yeah,
ankle.
and then you put your leg back and your arm forward. Same side,
Like that?
yep, then come back and touch the ankle again.
Wow, it's
You
all
gotta
the way.
bring the leg forward.
Oh, I got,
Yep. Okay, then back down to the floor. Okay? Okay. Okay. Now you're going to do that without your foot touching the ground, without this leg touching the ground at all. So it has to be all in one motion. Okay? So grab your ankle, then your arm back out, grab your ankle, then back down to the ground again.
Ankle, arm.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Ankle and down. All right. So try the same thing on the other side.
all right. You know what hurts?
What's that?
My knees doing this.
Yeah.
All right.
Ankle,
Ankle.
forward.
Is it okay that I'm collapsing in between?
Well, it's not okay that you're collapsing in between. That's indicative of weakness for this test. The goal is to not have to touch the ground with it. So it is showing us that you have some weakness in rotary stabilities, which is part of the testing process that we're doing.
Yeah.
Looking to see if you can or can't do that. That's fine. You can go ahead and stand back up. All right. So let me go ahead and put in your scores for that.
Let me go ahead and sweat.
Okay, and one more thing, back down to the ground again, when you get the foot out of the way now. Back down into your quadruped hands and knees position. This is the last one, this is an easy one. Okay, you go to child's poses, drop your butt down on your heels. Yep. Okay, and the question is, any pain with that?
Yes.
Okay, and you can come back up.
The pain's in an already bad knee.
Okay.
The flexibility going down a bit more.
Okay. All right, so you can come up, take a seat again. So that was the functional movement screen. Again, like I said, that's just one of the tests that we do for our clients. And it gives us indication of what areas in your body. You can feel it now, I'm sure, Eddie, that we challenge your shoulders, we challenge your hips, your knees, your ankles, your core. We really hit all parts of the dynamic functional movements that an athlete needs to do any sport, whether it's soccer, baseball, lacrosse, football. We test all athletes, volleyball players, whatever sport you can think of, we test them, and we get that functional, this functional movement screen allows us to give us some important information. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut to the news for a break.
Right.
And during that time, I'm going to pull up your results, and then when we come back, we'll talk about your results.
And I'm gonna go get a paper towel because I'm sweating like I'm in Alabama. It is Teleforum 10th anniversary special. Dale Reckless showed up and he is putting me through it. It is Teleforum on Beaver County Radio.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning. We could expect mostly cloudy today, the high of 71 degrees. It is currently 64 in Beaver County. We'll get a complete look at the weather after this look at news. PennDOT District 11 is announcing drilling operations on Tuscarawas Road in Ohioville Borough and Brighton Township, Beaver County. This will start today, weather permitting. Single-lane alternating traffic will occur on Tuscarawas Road between Libson Road and Route 168 weekdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This will go all the way through Wednesday, May 22nd. Crews from Armstrong Drilling will be doing the operations. Please use caution if traveling in this area. Local McDonald's restaurants are offering, again, the MAC grants to help middle school teachers make activities count for their students. McDonald's recognizes that lessons often become more meaningful when demonstrated with hands-on experiences, so the MAC Grants program provides financial support so teachers can supplement regular classroom curriculum with activities the students' budgets may not allow. Since the program's inception 30 years ago, McDonald's restaurants have awarded more than $3.4 million to support thousands of local teachers who want to provide hands-on learning activities in their classrooms. Gas prices continue to trend lower, with the national average falling by 4 cents over the past week to $3.61. Pre-Memorial Day domestic demand and oil cost are $80 a barrel, and that's contributing to the lower prices. Today's national average is 2 cents less than a month ago, but 8 cents more than it was a year ago. According to new data from Energy Information Administration, gas demand rose modestly from an 8.62 million barrels per day to 8.79 last week. Meanwhile, total domestic gasoline stocks increased by nearly 1 million barrels to 228 million barrels. Several years in making, Community College of Beaver County and the Beaver County Airport Authority Task Force announced plans to renovate and create a joint 21st century aviation facility at the Beaver County Airport. The concept went before Chippewa Township Planning Commission at their May 14th meeting. HDG Architects will lead the project designs, and John Pappas from Eccles Construction will serve as construction manager. PennDOT District 11 is announcing an eastbound ramp closure on McKees Rocks Borough, Allegheny County. This will begin Monday, May 20th, weather permitting. Starting at 6:30 a.m. Monday, a full closure of the eastbound McKees Rocks Bridge ramps and Helen Street will occur late July. Crews will perform work to replace pavement on each ramp. A single lane of traffic will be maintained on the bridge in each direction. Today, U.S. Senator John Fetterman and Chris Van Hollen announced their introduction of legislation to boot federal funding for transit agencies to improve service, safety, and reliability for riders. The Moving Transit Forward Act creates a new federal funding program under the U.S. Department of Transportation's Federal Transit Administration to provide transit agencies with additional resources to supplement their existing operating budgets and help cover the cost of adding new routes. The best park in the world is about to open. On Saturday, May 18th, Storybook Forest. They offer upgrades, thrilling special events, and new and improved dining options. Or expanded operating calendar, plus several park-wide enhancements will provide a summer full of new adventures for all adventures and enjoyment for all ages.
The Beaver County forecast.
Today we have scattered showers with thunderstorms also possible around 3 o'clock p.m. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms before 7, and then scattered showers between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Thursday, it looks like it's going to be mostly sunny with a high near 77, and we'll be going into the weekend on Friday with a chance of thunderstorms. I'm going to send it back over to Eddie Crow and Del Reckless.
I don't know if you remember any time in school where you stood outside and you waited for the teacher to post the scores of the test. That's what I've been doing during the news, because Dale has been getting my test scores together. And I'm going to throw you under the bus just for a second. Dale Reckless, MRS Physical Therapy, this is his 10th anniversary show today. We went outside for a second and Dale said, "Oh, that one test, yeah, nobody passes that."
That's a little
heads up. That's the one that was sweating. It's on the live feed. But do you want to tell me how I did? Do I want to know? Am I going to cruise your class and stay away from
So
your...
I know Eddie's working on posting this to the live Facebook stream, so you guys can see it. But I'll tell you what the report is. This report is really amazing because not only it can test any athlete, but it can compare your results to any level of athlete. So if you're an elementary school athlete, if you're a high school, if you're a collegiate, if you're an Olympic, if you're a professional athlete, I can compare this to any level of athleticism. Plus, I have about 200 different types of athletic sporting events, or I guess things that you might do as an athlete that I can plug you and compare you to. So I can compare your results to an NFL linebacker, or an NFL wide receiver, or a baseball pitcher, or a baseball outfielder, or catcher. So because this data has been collected over the course of 20 years, this is not a new test. This test has been around long enough to get about 20 years of data. And all that data is collected to compare your athletic ability to whatever you want. So what did we choose for Eddie?
I don't know what did we choose for me.
So for
Rhythm
Eddie,
gymnastics.
you wanted to be a professional ballet.
Sure.
Okay?
Everybody's
So a professional ballerina, so I compared Eddie's results to a professional ballerina. And so the results that we get gives us the outcome of how he compares to other professional ballerinas. And how do you think you did, Eddie?
You know what?
not so good.
Not so good.
They're pretty flexible, aren't they?
Not so good.
Yeah.
So we come up with a substantial deficit. So you can either fall under substantial deficit, moderate deficit, slight deficit, or optimal.
I got the best.
You got the
Sustainable.
bottom. You probably would not make the ballet.
So what you're
You
telling
can
me
have
is-
dreams.
Yeah.
You can have dreams, but they might be pipe dreams because you're not at that level. That doesn't mean we can't get you to that level, though. So if you're an athlete that tests lower than what you should be,
A 190-pound guy that wants to be a ballerina,
the
you're going to help
results,
me.
the results of this test help us to identify what you need to do to get to that level. Okay, so that's what we're doing with this testing. And then once we train you through our sports performance program, Diesel Sports has a great program for sports performance. Once we train in that program, then we can retest you and see if you're getting closer to meeting your goals.
Okay.
So if we can get you closer to being a ballerina again, that's our goal, right?
That's always been my goal.
So
What's interesting, honestly, the people, the armchair quarterbacks that say, "Oh, I could play linebacker or whatever."
come in and test. Let's see if you can.
You can look at objective numbers to see how close you are to being able to do that.
That's right. So, as if you guys are looking at the report that Eddie's
The
posted here,
report is posted on the website, and I'm endeavoring to post it on the live feed, but I just posted it on the website.
yeah, so if you look at the
Directly
summary,
on the
if
live
you look at the
feed.
summary of the report, you'll see each area that we tested. We tested deep squat, hurdle step, inline lunge, shoulder mobility, impingement clearing test, active straight leg raise, trunk stability push-up, press-up clearing test, rotary stability, posterior rock and clearing test. And all these tests you get a score with on a 0 to 3 scale. You get an overall final score, so your total final score is a 9. And then next to that, we have the standard, whether you passed or you're below standard or you're optimal. So you were optimal in one area. We can celebrate that.
That's all I'm looking
Your
for.
active straight leg raise was optimal.
There you
It's
go.
fantastic. I'm proud of you for your straight leg raise. You also did pass. You passed your deep squat, which was good, and you passed your trunk stability push-up. So those are some tough things that you passed. You did well. All the other measures were below where we want them to be, especially for a professional ballerina. But we could standardize this. It does standardize to your age. We include your age in there as well. So we're standardizing
The
these
60-year-old ballerina.
Maybe there's some out there. I don't know. But realistically, if Eddie really wanted to compare himself, we could compare him, his age group, to what's your favorite sport to play?
Cycling.
Cycling.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with the disc golf. But
Well, 1 and 1A. Those are the only two I
so
do.
we compare you to a cycler, whether that was a professional level cycler or a recreational cycler. We compare your information to that and get realistic outcomes to what you really are doing.
Get a
And that's,
picture.
and that's a real focus of what we would do with our screens here, is we want a realistic focus on what are your actual goals. Do you have a 12-year-old youth baseball player that wants to be a catcher? Well, we need to test him. We need to screen him because we need to know does he have the ankle mobility, does he have the knee mobility, the hip mobility, the strength in the core. It's not just being able to throw that ball and get someone out at second base. It's about these other measures. And why these other measures are so important is because they're going to be indicative of how well your athlete's going to be able to train and perform to get to that next level. And we talk a lot about that with these athletes. It's not about just training for your specific sport, but making sure all these other areas are clear so they're not risks of injury. Okay? A lot of these athletes that are getting injuries because they've never gotten the right ankle range of motion. They never got the right hip range of motion. They never strengthened their core enough. And then all of a sudden, whoop, they're a great player, but they're getting injured. Why are they getting injured? Because they have areas that have been missed somewhere along the line with stability and mobility. And when you're lacking that stability and mobility in your body, no matter how good of an athlete you are, you're going to be hurting your body in some way. You're going to start to do different compensations that your body's going to start learning that's going to end up hurting yourself in the long run. No matter how good, whatever high level of an athlete you are, this functional movement screen is very important to do because it will help us to red flag areas for you to focus on with your athleticism and get you staying in the game without losing time from injury.
And that's exactly right. right. You can be the greatest, and I've seen it. Guys that got hurt all the time. Well, you're not training for 2 weeks or 6 weeks or till after the surgery. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, if you have to have surgery, you're losing a season. If you have a mild sprain or strain, you're losing a good part of the season. If it's during the season, you're out. And that's what we want to reduce. Cranberry Sports Physical Therapy, we opened up inside of Diesel Sports Complex on May 1st. And we have 4 components. We have the sports physical therapy component. We have the sports metrics, which is preventing knee injuries, preventing ACL injuries. We have these the functional sports screens, like the functional movement screen that we're doing. Then we have the performance stretching that we're doing. All 4 of those components are new components that we're adding into the Diesel Sports Complex. But honestly, this functional movement screen, the goal of this is that you don't ever have to need physical therapy. Our goal of this is to be comprehensive, so we don't have athletes coming in that are missing things that they end up in our clinic for recovery from sports injury. If that does happen, by all means, come to see us. We can help you out. The number to call us there is 724-591-8121. We also do these functional movement screens in MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater. That number is 724-728-7550. So we're doing these specific functional movement screens in both of all 3 of our offices that we have open. Also Cranberry Physical Therapy, which is next to North Park Lounge in Cranberry on Route 19. But all 3 of our offices are now doing these functional movement screens that are going to help your athlete mitigate risk. Maybe you're an older adult that's getting into a program and you just want to test yourself and say, what can I do to prevent myself from getting injured playing pickleball, for example. This test is going to help us to show the areas that you need to work on to improve range of motion, flexibility, mobility, stability, strength-wise. It's going to cover all those areas. It's a very comprehensive test. This is just one of the components of the testing that we do for the functional movement screens. There's a couple other ones we do on top of this as well. So we look forward to you guys reaching out and seeing how we can help you out at MRS Physical Therapy.
And tell people, because you need to leave here in a couple minutes because you're going to go and be a part of the event at the mall. People can approach you there.
I'm going out to the center of the mall. I'll get there as soon as I leave here. We know how long it takes me. And I'll be offering some free balance screens, which we talk a lot about on the show. But I'm also happy to talk to you about the functional movement screens at my table at the center of the mall today.
All right, Dale Radcliffe. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and we'll go to a break. And we are broadcasting live. Make Romine do the stuff you just made me do. Because Romine's going to be there broadcasting live for the next 2 hours. The video's going to be set up. Take your sticks, get Romine on the floor barking like a dog. Will you do that?
Absolutely.
All right, Dale Radcliffe of MRS Physical. Congratulations on 10 years, my friend.
Thanks, it's been my pleasure.
Making people sweat. All right, Teleforum continues after this on Beaver County Radio. This is a test of the emergency alert system originating from WBVP. The broadcasters and cable operators of the area, in voluntary cooperation with the Federal Communications Commission and other agencies, have developed this system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. This is only a test.
The Rochester True Value, located inside the Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard, is proudly serving the community. The Rochester True Value is independently owned and operated and has experienced workers who can help you with your home projects. The Rochester True Value has tools, products, and all the equipment needed for you to get the job done. The Rochester True Value inside the Shop and Save is open and ready to help with your home improvements. That's the Rochester True Value in Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcones Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
Your home for everything in Beaver County. 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, coming to you live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
If you're considering funeral pre-arrangements to relieve your family of making decisions under stressful conditions, consider Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. The cemetery was founded in 1865 by community leaders to provide a beautiful area for proper burials. It's now one of the oldest ongoing institutions in Beaver County. Here are 5 reasons to choose Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. It's a nonprofit with a perpetual care fund to ensure future upkeep and maintenance. Beaver Cemetery offers attractively priced burial spaces and mausoleum crypts. At Beaver Cemetery, private mausoleums and memorials are permitted. It's a beautiful and peaceful historical landmark setting with a heated and air-conditioned chapel in the mausoleum. And finally, Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum is centrally located to serve all of Beaver County. Why not contact Beaver Cemetery today? Their courteous staff will help you with your decisions concerning burial alternatives and selections available. Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum, Buffalo Street, Beaver. Call